Coda. Written story can be found on the Wattpad profile down in the description. Chapter 1.
No, no, no! Why won't you listen? You never listen!
Screamed Miss Bell as the soft sound of the string section came to an abrupt halt. The young members of the orchestra fell into a stale and uncomfortable silence as Miss Bell stood at the podium with a blank stare.
Contrabass! You're always late! Always late!
Her voice echoed louder than the music of the 100 youngsters who now sat silently holding their instruments. Her anger fit kept thundering. She went back and forth in the sheet, loudly tapping her fingers at the bars in the score, a beast that was inspiring fear into most of the double bass section. They were all sitting in the NDR High School auditorium. The late afternoon had sneakily become evening, as the young students should have been dismissed from the extracurriculars an hour or two ago. Yet they were kept back, as Miss Bell was still dissatisfied with the current state of the movement they were rehearsing. Laplace's Symphony No. 1 in D major. A very large, grand, and complicated piece that had a lot of rich motifs, harmonies, and melodies, which many sane minds would believe to be too difficult for a youth orchestra. Yet Miss Bell was adamant, no, convinced, that they should do it. Not out of faith for her pupils, but that this was her only opportunity to conduct and perform such a piece due to her failed history in the orchestral scene.
Always late! You need to listen!
Her words rendered nothing but repetitive degradations and verbal insults to the young players, talking down and bullying her subjects, as if they were hers to willfully offload her personal frustrations and anger. To build character was her poor excuse to subject them to such harsh treatment, yet her teaching lacked any substance or insight for them to properly learn and develop. Her explanations of the theory, language, and the desired methods was perfunctory at best. She was clearly expecting too much from her students, while not contributing anywhere near enough as a teacher and a conductor should. NDR High Youth Orchestra featured people from all walks of life, all kinds of humans, Gondolians, Astorians, Alhadi Levitian, Sun Elves, Dark Elves, and High Elves, the occasional young dwarf, and Draconians, even a dragon who bore a glamour to take a human form. They were all born there, connected to the city and the land by their parents seeking new opportunities. Yet, despite the different backgrounds and parental vocations, they were all there for the shared love of music. Clara sat in the front seat of the string section, right next to the concertmaster. She hated that spot, as she had front row seat to that screaming ogre, even when it was not directed at her. The only comfort was Cassie, the concertmaster. She was slim and pretty, a draconian with scales black as obsidian and eyes red as rubies. Cassie, or Kasath Greyworm, was everything Clara wanted to be as a musician. Despite being a year older than Cassie, she was the daughter of the prominent draconian Balasar Greyworm, the father of Golden Age of music, the man who revived the musical tradition and took it to new heights, the pianist who wrote a piano concerto which, till this day, only he could play. She was the daughter of the most prominent pianist, composer, and conductor of the modern era, if not all time. And it was clear that Cassie was the daughter of this living genius. Her bow control was stupendous, and had the intonation of a professional, with rich sound that only belongs to the great philharmonics of the world. Yet even then the violin was only her second instrument, since, much like her father, she lived and breathed for the piano. She had told Clara that one day she would be the first one to reproduce her father's infamous piano concerto. Clara was certain that if anyone could do it, it would be her. She was the only one Miss Bell did not dare to raise her voice given her skills, knowledge, and background. Despite many of the members of the youth orchestra being children of musicians who were in the NDR Philharmonic, shouting at the daughter of the greatest composer of the age would not be wise.